Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dawn and I'm here to show you all my crafty adventures over the last couple of weeks. It's going to be mainly knitting, some quilting update. I've got, I tried some spinning. We'll check that out. And I've got some recipes that I've tested and you might want to try yourself. So let's get going. Returning viewers, you may notice that I am wearing a finished object. Yes, last time I showed you I was just at the very bottom of my hem with sleeves to go on my Arwen by Isabel Kramer, and ta-da, it's finished. Very happy. As you can see, it has this great yoke with baubles and lace work. It is a good fit. I'll see if I can show you. It fits down here nice at the hip. I made the size small because there's a ton of these. I'm not normally a small, I'm a larger medium, but this pattern had so much ease, I decided that I would size down so it wasn't so bulky or voluminous. I don't know what that word is, but anyways, you know what I mean. So what can I say about this pattern? I can say I really loved it. I knit it in my hand-dyed. I think if you watch the previous episode, you will know that that wasn't the color I was going with, but I'm really happy with it. The only downside is it's fingering weight, so that body stockinette, it takes a long time to get done, but I got it done. The sleeves went by very quickly. I did sort of almost a full sleeve bracelet. It kind of rides up a little bit, but I like it so I can see my watch in it. Really happy, highly recommend it. Well written, didn't have any problems at all with the pattern. So that is the Arwen by Isabel Kramer, which I really recommend you try out if you like it. I have another finished object. Last Sunday was Valentine's Day, so we should knit hearts, right? So Heidi Kermeyer released this free pattern, and it's these darling little hearts that only take a few seconds to make, a few minutes to make. Very quick knit, worsted weight, although I did these other red ones in some DK and size down a needle size. I saw somebody had posted that you could size down, so I sized down to 3.5 millimeter for DK, and it was a 4 millimeter for the worsted. And so I made 5 of these and just kind of So that's it for my finished objects for this week, but I figure anytime you finish a sweater, you get to cast something else big on. So I have cast on the Elias, I think that's how you say it, by Isabel Kramer. It's a cardigan with a done in DK, and here's what I've got so far. This is in another of my hand-dyed yarns. This one using jacquard acid dyes in spruce. And this cardigan is coming along pretty decently. It's DK weight. I use Knit Picks, what did I use? Oh, the Swish DK for my dyeing. It's a little darker than it appears on the screen. And it has the interesting part about this, why I liked this pattern, is it has this cute eyelet. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me see if I can show you a little bit better. But it has this cute detail across, down the side and also at the front that will go along the button band. I, in particular, chose this pattern because it has a higher neckline. It's button front, and I find sometimes the cardigans that I've made, they're too loose in the neck, and so when I'm cold I have to put on another scarf or a shawl, and of course that's not bad because then I can wear more knitwear, but sometimes I just want to have one thing on, and so this is my idea here. Pretty good progress. I'm following exactly the pattern, no issues at all, and I'm making the medium 1 size. There are quite a good amount of sizes. I think this will be sort of fitted. It's not going to be loose, but we'll see. I've tried it on, and so far the sizing seems accurate and good for me. So yeah, well, hopefully, don't know when that'll be finished, but doing good so far. I have the other work in progress, which you've already seen, are the husband's socks. I did make some progress, and I think in the last podcast I told you I had sort of put them in the naughty corner because I had a boo-boo and I better pick them up. Has this happened to you? I throw it in the corner mad because I've made a boo-boo, and then it turns out I didn't make a boo-boo at all. There was nothing wrong. I just must have been tired and didn't count properly. I reassessed and I was doing perfectly fine. So now I've got 40 rows past the gusset, a decrease on the foot, so coming along good. The only problem is he's got size 13 feet, so I got a ways to go. I kind of only work on them on Saturdays just so I will finally finish them, but maybe doing this podcast I'll feel guilty. I'll want to show you finished socks, so can't be a bad thing, and get these off the needles. So stay tuned. Let's see how I do. And finally, I have an update on my Scraptastic blanket by Samantha Johnston. And you can see my marker where I was last time. I have made some progress. This is my second Scraptastic. I'm making it for my grandson. If you notice, the new color at the top happens to be a bit of yarn that I had left over from the Elias I am making right now. It kind of got tangled up, so it didn't go into the sweater, and now it's in the blanket. So it is a great stash buster. I work on it on Sundays, so I don't have to count rows or keep I don't know. I just like the change of all the colors, the change of pace on my knitting, and Sundays it seems to work for me. So I'm not sure how far I am, but yeah, it's huge as you can see, and it's very colorful, and he loves lots of colors. So I think he'll like it, and hopefully I'll make some more progress to show you next time, but it's not, I don't know. It took me 4 months last time. It'll probably take me another 4 months to get this one done. But every little bit counts, right? I think so, right? Last time I showed you that I had dyed some fiber with the intention of learning how to spin. And so here's the fiber now. It's kind of wild colored, but I thought the color will encourage me, make it sort of interesting to see what happens. And so I got a drop spindle from one of my local yarn shops, Baaad Annas in Vancouver. And it's this Ashford, can you see it? Ashford. And I did a little spinning. So this is what I got. And I have to say, I don't know if it's focusing or not. I'll put it over my face and see if that happens, or maybe over here. I don't know. I don't know how well you can see that at all, but I love the color. I love how it looks. I do not like hand spinning with a drop spindle. It is very slow. It also took me quite a bit of time to watch a lot of videos to learn how to do it. I found that there was lots of really good videos, but none of them had sort of everything that I wanted, that I had to figure out how to do. And of course, I haven't done very much, so I'm no expert, very beginner. I'm thinking I might put together a beginner spinning drop spindle for people who want to do it with all my learnings as a beginner, what I learned and figured out, and so that others don't have to do that. So we'll see. But what I figured out is I don't really like doing this. It's really slow. So I need a spinning wheel. My husband and grandson were building me one as a project, but with our COVID restrictions, we can't actually see our grandson in person. So I think my husband, after my complaining about the drop spindle, I think he's going to get working on building it himself, and him and the grandson can find another project to work on together. And I do think my grandson would love using the spinning wheel because it's pretty fun. And I do think this is very cool looking, and this is single ply. I don't know what, but it looks really good to me. I don't know, let me know what you think, but yeah, it's too slow for me. I'm impatient. I have to be honest of who I am and what I want to do, and I did not really enjoy this. So I'm waiting for the spinning wheel. So I was asked by some friends to show them how to do yarn dyeing with food coloring. It's really easy, it's fun, kid-friendly, great results. And so I put together a little video. It's in a separate podcast that you can find, I hopefully linked here or down below. And check it out if you're interested, and let me know. I hope you try it. It's really easy, lots of fun, and I'm excited for getting some feedback on it. If you recall from last time, I was working on the Okla Roots Block Party quilt. I don't have any update. Jess did drop a video showing the next step to completing the quilt top, but I have not done it yet. However, in the meantime, I did make a quilt top from the Ugly, it's Just Get It Done quilts, and it's called the Ugly Fabric quilt. And what I thought I would do is it made a lap size, and it'll give me a chance to practice quilting on something smaller than that giant, almost king-sized quilt that I'm making with Okla Roots. So I'll put in a picture, but also I do have the quilt top here. And as you can see, it uses, it's called Ugly Fabric because you just kind of use whatever you've got. But it does make, here it is. It does give me some more practice of making blocks because I'm a brand new quilter, so I get to practice sewing, making blocks. I'm going to make this into a lap quilt and practice quilting before I get into something even bigger. So that has been fun, and it went by really, really quick. And the great thing about Just Get It Done quilts is she has lots of great tips and tricks. And as you can see, one of them is from my picture, you saw that I had it up on the wall, which is a great way to see your quilt before you sew it together, to see how all the blocks fit together. And her tip was from the dollar store that you just buy one of the tablecloths with the flannel backing. Inexpensive. Here it was, I think, $3.50, and I just tape it up with some painter's tape to put it up on the wall, and then you can see how it will look. So that's a great tip, and I encourage you to check out her YouTube channel for lots more great tips that she has. Use this segment to share some recipes that I've tried. I love to cook new things. I get bored with the same old things I'm always cooking. So if you're interested as well, I thought I'd share some of the recipes that I've tried and whether they worked out or not. I've got some good winners here. So here I've got a picture of some oatmeal carrot muffins that I made for my dad. My dad, he's 89 years old, and so we can't see him, but I can quickly drop him off muffins every Saturday, his favorite thing to eat. This is a recipe on Food Network Canada. It's a Michael Smith recipe. It's easy. Most things you have in your house. Really moist, tasty, great. My friend Janice put me onto this recipe, and I highly recommend it. So if you're looking for, it's oatmeal, carroty, what else is in it? Oh, I don't know. I will tell you that whenever I see spices in muffins, I almost always double them because I never find they are come through enough. So that's my secret on that recipe, and give that one a good, it's good to check out. Again, all links for everything is going to be down below in the description box. The next really fun recipe we tried out was from Kenji Lopez Alt, and I follow him on YouTube, and the picture, his thumbnail said garlic bread pizza. Now who doesn't want to try that? Garlic bread and pizza, and it looked great. And it's based on his Serious Eats post called French bread pizza, which doesn't sound that interesting, but when I heard garlic bread pizza, I was hooked. I wanted to try this. What's great about Kenji's YouTube channel is he sort of interprets his own recipes on Serious Eats, so he doesn't always follow them, but he shows you where you can be flexible or make changes, and he does it on the fly, and he cooks in his home, and he's so natural. I just really feel comfortable with his recipes. And of course, he's like a scientist, so specific, but then he shows you at home that you can be flexible and where you can. It just uses everyday French bread that you buy at your grocery store, and you can put whatever toppings that you want on. And he even says, although there's a recipe for the tomato sauce, you can just use the squeeze stuff or whatever you've got in your kitchen or freezer or what you like. It turned out great because it's based on garlic bread. That's the first thing you do, is you make garlic bread and then you pour pizza toppings on top. This is a winner, and it makes quite a lot. So the two of us, we didn't eat all of it. We've got some in the freezer and cannot wait to have it again. I highly recommend you try this one out. And finally, I have my very sad story about sourdough starter. It seems like everybody can make sourdough starter except for me. I had a really good sourdough starter called Baaad, but he was from a bakery, and somewhere along the way in the summer, I decided I didn't need Baaad anymore, and I threw out my sourdough starter. And then the fall rolled around and we're still stuck in our homes, so I thought I would make sourdough starter. Now my friend Morgan did offer me hers, some of hers, but I of course thought, oh, I can make sourdough starter, so I'm going to get going on Baaad the 3rd, I think it was. And it failed, and it failed, and it failed. And I kept trying recipes, and I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I think there were so many things that you have to kind of put it all together. So eventually I did succeed this last week with Baaad the 8th. I know, it just seems impossible to have taken so long and why I did it, but this is the beauty of retirement and being in quasi lockdown. So I have successfully made my sourdough starter. I think the thing, if you're having a problem with your sourdough starter, here are the things that I think made a difference. I used water that was from the tap, but I put it overnight out so that any chlorine in the water would evaporate, and so it would be kind of like filtered water, which often they call for. Although people are super successful with all-purpose flour, I did a mixture of unbleached all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour, 50-50%, and used that. And I just did a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. So you start out with 50 grams of water, 50 grams of flour, and the next day you do 50 grams of starter, 50 grams of water, 50 grams of flour, and repeat and repeat and repeat. And as you can see from my pictures that I'm probably inserting here, Baaad worked. In fact, Baaad was great on day 1. I don't know, I never have success with Baaad on day 1, but I did. So yay, Baaad. Now, on Saturday, I went to make sourdough bread, and it was a complete flop. I don't even have a picture. I'm not going to show you a picture. But just like I succeeded with my starter, I am going to succeed with my sourdough bread. What the problem was, I knew instantly that I was not getting the right rise out of the bread, that I should adjust it. But no, I just kept going ahead because I was on a schedule. There was a time. I only had this window to bake it. This is what I wanted to do. And it was a mess. I knew it. No surprise. I'm going to start again this week. And I hope to report next time that we have got sourdough bread mastered. And so I'm looking forward to eating sourdough bread, which I really like. And but at least the starter's done. So Baaad the 8th, thank you for working. Well, that's about it for this episode. We had snow last week, as you saw from the video at the beginning, which is pretty unusual to get that amount of snow. Kids were happy. They were out playing in it. Me, not so much, but it was gone quickly. Now the bulbs look like they're getting close to being ready to bloom, at least the early daffodils that we have. It's 10 degrees today. That's nice. Yeah, everything else is sort of the same old, same old. I'm sure it is the same with you. Would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Until next time, have fun, do some crafts, be safe. See you soon. Take care.